And welcome back to a fun video. In this video I'm going to show you how to make one of these, which is a tank overflow. The same design as this has been around for years and years and years. Here's actually one we designed about 20 years ago, which does the same sort of thing as this current one here. You have to buy the tubing and bits and pieces. This is still only around $30 or so from a local hardware place, but you can do it for free out of household items. We're going to have fun and we're going to build this. This is made out of bottles. Yes, not any ordinary bottles, but red wine bottles. Let's chuck it on a tank and see how it works. Now that is more exciting, isn't it? This is 2 wine bottles, a piece of pipe, a couple of holes drilled, one there, one there. That is it. We're going to stick this on the tank and see what happens. There goes my floor. Oh, check that out. How's that for an overflow? You too can have a wine bottle overflow. So all you need to do is hook some pipe to that, down into your sump, another pump there, going back into your tank. You have a permanent overflow that looks really, really stylish. So good. Let's jump to the boring one. All we're going to do is sit that in the tank, and then water is going to siphon from this bit here, down into here, up into there, and then into our bucket. It's going to stop when it gets to about the water level, which is there. So we're going to give this one a go. Stick it in our tank. Move our bucket. Oh, that was close. Turn our overflow down a little bit. And it is working. That is water overflowing from this tank into there. So if that was your sump, you would have a pump in there, pumping water back up into there, and so on and so on. So if you want to stop it, just empty the last bit of water out. You can stop it like that. If you want to start it again, sit it in the tank, and it starts again. It's very, very simple. Now I'm going to show you all the bits and pieces you need to make it. You'll need 25mm PVC piping. You can use bigger stuff if you want to. It'll just work a little bit faster. You'll need a couple of end caps. Ideally, screw-in end caps would work a lot better than those, but we're just using those because they're nice and cheap. You'll need 3 elbows. You'll need 2 T-pieces. And you'll also need a couple of these screw-in-y bit things. And the reason you want those is that way you can just cheat and use something simple like an aquarium strainer to stop fish going through your overflow. And they will just screw into there. And you can also get bits and pieces like that. And those are just going to make it a lot easier to screw into your PVC pipe. And then you can have just your normal flexible tubing going into your sump. You'll also need some of this sort of stuff, which is just irrigation tubing. That is going to go down the main pipe, and that is what is going to siphon the water into this part here. So you'll just need a couple of elbows, a little bit of pipe that you can cut down. But that is the basics of all the bits and pieces you need. We're going to assemble it and explain how it works. And this is what it looks like fully assembled. The water will go through this little bit here, down your PVC pipe, into your black poly pipe, up along here, down into here, and then into your overflow there. So as long as your water level is higher than this bit, it's going to work. So hence why we have that one higher than that one. If you want more water flow, you just want to increase the size of your tubing and the size of your pipe, and then you'll have a lot more flow going through. Very, very simple setup. In the tank, this is not going to be set up like this, so we'll assemble it and show you. And this is ideally what you want on your tank. So you want the strainer on an angle, depending on the height of your water in your tank. You've got your overflow pointing towards the back of the tank, so it's not jutting out on the side of your aquarium. But that will pretty much work in most circumstances. You can make, obviously, any adaptations to this, make it wider, make it taller, whatever you want. But that is the basics of this overflow. I think that's around about $30 worth of bits and pieces. You could technically do it for free, which we're going to do in this video as well, just for fun. And this is how the wine bottles work. So they are 2 wine bottles. I have drilled a hole in each top. I have the same black poly pipe, but I lost the poly pipe inside the bottle, so I've got a little bit of just clear tubing going all the way down to the bottom. And the whole way that these siphon systems work is you need water in that whole pipe. So to prime it, you need to unscrew these, submerge it in water, as you can see on the screen, get all the air bubbles out of the pipe, screw those back in place, and then when you lift it up, you're going to lose a little bit of water, but you're going to have water filled through this whole entire pipe. And that is what starts and stops your siphon. So I've drilled a few extra holes in the bottle as well. Obviously a hole there, and that is where the water will come out. That hole needs to be lower than the hole in this bottle. I did kind of stuff up and I drilled a hole too far up to start with. So ignore that hole, you don't need that hole, but you just need a hole about an inch or a centimetre or two above this hole, because that is where the water is going to go in and fill and go up and out. Of course, because it couldn't really go anywhere else. So it doesn't really matter if you have these holes sealed or not up the top, because all the water is in this sealed black pipe, and that is just normal black poly pipe. So really all it is 4 holes, 2 bottles, a little bit of tubing and a couple of bends. And the good thing about the wine bottle setup, and this is hilarious, is it is easier to use than the PVC method, because you can just unscrew the caps here, submerge the whole thing in the water as you saw to get all the air bubbles out. The other one you have to kind of stuff around a little bit more to get it going. You can use clear pipe up the top as well, and then you could see if you're starting to get air bubbles or get air trapped in there. If you do have air trapped in those bits, that is going to stop the siphon, and obviously it's going to overflow your tank. That's sort of the same as any sort of overflow system. Even if you've got holes drilled in your tank, something can clog the overflow and then that will flood your tank anyway. But you could have very stylish wine bottles on your tank, a couple of suction caps so it doesn't damage your glass, and it would be pretty perfect. I think I'm going to do a better version of this in a future video and have it permanently on a tank. Maybe I'll get a flash Owazi tank and have a really nice wine bottle overflow. If you would like me to do something silly like that in another video in the future, click the thumbs up or comment down below if you got any suggestions. I'm super keen to do that now. That would be kind of hilarious. But it works. You can make an overflow for nothing. So if you use bigger pipe and better bottles, even plastic bottles, it's going to be a little bit safer, obviously, than glass dangling around like this. There's not really anything holding that up. That's kind of hilarious. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video as much as I enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. That would be wonderful. And yeah, any comments, comment down below. We will see you in the next video. Look at it. It's so good.